So, just got back from seeing The Mountain Between Us, and I just wanted to say a little bit on irritating people at the cinema. So we got there, and there was a woman who was sitting in our seat. Why? She thought she didn't have to sit in her own seat. Don't know, but it wasn't a big deal because she moved. She got up and moved, and it was like, okay, yeah, bit weird. She thought to do that, but she's moved. And on the same row as us were two old ladies. And then the problem started. The two old ladies kept talking to each other. But I don't know if it's just because they're old and they couldn't work out how loud they were talking, but it wasn't just, Doris, what do you think of the film, Doris? It was, oh, what do you think of this, Doris? What do you think? The accent's completely wrong. It's just my old person voice. Oh, Doris, what do you think it was? Oh, Gladys, I don't know, Gladys. Like, they were just doing this consistently throughout the movie, and they're old people, little old ladies. They must be like 80. So I didn't feel like I could go, shut up. Just stop talking. Just stop it. Because they're old, and I feel bad. If it was anybody else, I would have done. But yeah, little old ladies, I can't. But they pissed me off. And then the same woman who was in our seat, she just kept getting her phone out. Like the whole time. Like she was trying to... My phone. She was trying to be subtle, maybe. So she was like this, and she'd have it on, and you'd see the brightness light up. Because you can see people on phones, by the way, in a dark cinema. Idiot. And yeah, she's doing this, and then she'd just hold it, just like this, with the brightness just shining up, like 6 times. So from the 4th time, I started tutting loudly, like like that. And on the 6th time, I lost my temper a little bit and just went to Mel next to me. It's really bright. That woman's phone, isn't it? It's really bright. And then I got my own phone and lit it up and just went, look how bright it is. Look, and waved it in her face. And then she stopped. I don't know why I told you all this, I just felt like telling you how much people piss me off in the cinemas. That's done. Let's review The Mountain Between Us.
Alex! Alex!
Starring, amongst others, and not many others, Idris Elba and Kate Winslet. Directed by Hani Abu Assed, off of a screenplay by Chris White and J. Mills Goodlow. Yeah, sounds right. This is my review for The Mountain Between Us. The Mountain Between Us focuses on the characters of Ben and Alex, played by Idris Elba and Kate Winslet respectively, who need to get home. One of them has to do emergency surgery because he's a neurosurgeon. The other one has to get married. They can't get that because all the flights are cancelled because of a storm. So they find a chartered plane, which is flown by Beau Bridges, who is in this movie briefly. That plane doesn't make it to its destination. It crashes in the mountains, and the only 2 people left are Ben and Alex, along with a dog. I love the dog. The dog's my favourite thing in this movie. He's great. They have to try and survive, so they're out in the wilderness for much longer than they think. They expect rescue to come. Obviously, being this sort of movie, rescue doesn't come anywhere near as quickly as they would like it to, so they need to fend for themselves. They need to learn to survive. And when it focuses on that aspect of it, on trying to survive in a harsh terrain, this movie's pretty good. I liked a lot of that. I liked the way it uses the scenery, the way it shows how cold and horrible the situations is, the way it brings certain bits of wildlife from the snowy mountains in pretty terrifying ways. Like, it does all this stuff really well. The focus on them just trying to survive, easily the best bit about this movie, apart from the dog, which, as I said, is the best part of the movie. The dog's great. Where it doesn't go quite so well is, sadly, with the characters of Ben and Alex. And I'm going to give the score in a minute, and then I'm going to talk about a few spoiler bits afterwards, because this movie, there's just a few things I need to get off my chest. But, yeah, they're fine. Like, they're nice enough people, to a degree, but I never really feel any kind of connections to them. They have this habit of, particularly Alex, Kate Winslet's character at one point does this, and it's something that always annoys me in movies, where they start telling something horrible that's happened in their past, and they deliver this monologue about what it is, but it doesn't really make any sense to include it at a particular moment in time. And this has a couple of those examples. Like, Ben asks her to take a picture at one point, and then she freezes and just starts telling this horrible story that does kind of link tenuously because it's involving taking a picture. But it doesn't make any sense what I bring up at that point. It's stupid, it's silly. I'd rather they stopped. That being said, Idris Elba and Kate Winslet are very, very good. Both of them commit to the roles. Like, I believe them as genuine people in this kind of horrible situation. Like, that's absolutely fine. They do a great job. It's just the characters themselves, not so much. And also the film looks great. Like, it makes great use of the scenery, of the setting it's in. Could be a good one for 4K. I'm not sure how well they're going to transfer it. I'm not sure how it was filmed, but yeah, hopefully it could, because as I say, it looks very, very nice. As I say, a little bit coming after the score, but for now I'm going to give Mountain Between Us a 6 out of 10. Okay, so now we're talking spoilers. Spoilers are up. So, for some reason, instead of this just becoming a movie about survival, it becomes some kind of weird love story. And I don't get why. Alex's character is off to get married. Like she was supposed to be getting married the day after the crash. And yet, 3 weeks with Idris Elba's character, and they're falling in love, I think. It just sort of comes out of nowhere. Apart from the odd pensive look, which some of this is really cringy, particularly the script. It's not great at all times. But yeah, other than the odd look, I had no reason to invest in these two as anything resembling a couple. I just thought they were a couple of strangers who were forced together and they bonded. Like they became friends. That's what this should have been. It didn't need some horrible romance angle thrown into it. It just feels massively unearned. Eventually it gets to a sex scene between them, and it's the worst sex scene I've seen in ages. Like, it's intercut with other shots of them. I can't remember if they were shots from previously in the movie or just random shots thrown in there. But yeah, it's all done and the score just builds up to make it this big epic romantic moment, and it's just not. You're cheating on your fiancé. You were meant to have married like 3 weeks ago. What are you doing? Yeah, alright, life and death situation. They think they're going to die. Like, I sort of get it. But no, it just doesn't work. It certainly does not work in this movie at all. And then to kind of kick you in the balls a little bit more with this, after they get rescued, and I probably should have covered this briefly as to why I only gave it a 6, but the film doesn't stop there. It carries on for about 20-25 minutes afterwards of them sort of back in the real world, and I didn't need to see that. Like, I just wanted to see them in horrible situations on a mountain, and then, eventually they get to safety and everything's good. I didn't need to see 20-25 minutes of them adjusting to life afterwards, and then her breaking up. I think she broke up with her fiancé off screen. We didn't see it happen. And then she gets in touch with Idris Elba's character again, and then they meet for coffee, and it's a bit awkward. And then they hug and say goodbye, and then the ending is incredible. Like, the ending of this movie is amazing. They both walk away from each other and turn. It really made me laugh. And turn the corner, so on opposite corners, and then at the same time they stop and they realise, I can't let this other person go. So they turn around, and then in slow motion they run around the corner. They're running into each other's arms, and then this is genuinely how it happened. And then they reach out to hug each other, and oh, we're gonna hug. This is so emotional. And as they get to like here, the film just cuts and stops. It's the weirdest ending to a movie I've seen in some time. Yeah, it's pretty awful. Half of this film is absolutely terrible, and half of it's really, really good. So yeah, I think a 6 out of 10 was fair. Have you seen The Mountain Between Us? What did you think of it? Did the romance stuff work for you? If it did, you probably enjoyed it a lot more than I did. Thank you for watching this. You can hit like, you can hit subscribe. I should have a review for Lego Ninjago coming out. I think I'm going to do it. It's been out in the States for a little while, so I don't think it's a really relevant review to do now, but we're only just getting it here. So I'm going to go and see it, and yeah, I'll probably do a review for it. But as I say, thank you for watching. You can follow me on Twitter @JoePJulians, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.